And this is for the ladies, so Dante, you don't have to listen to this. Did you know that Pinup Clothing is selling their Elvira clothing style? They have nice sexy dresses for the curvy women. They also sell the plus sizes too. But as you will see, that they have some dresses that are long for the nice ladies and also short if you want a nice evening gown. Very sexy, and I know you ladies will be excited on checking this clothing out.
So Halloween Horror Nights has announced another maze. They seem to only be doing mazes now. I haven't heard any house announcements. Obviously the mazes are a lot cheaper. Regardless, this one is actually a collaboration with Blumhouse Films, which of course we all know and love, or at least know, for such things as Insidious films, Sinister films, The Purge. Happy Death Day is theirs. Yeah, well, you know, you can't win them all.
Oh my god.
There's a link to our trailer reaction for Happy Death Day in the description below. Anyways, they are putting on one of the mazes this year. I have no idea what Blumhouse must have paid for that little privilege. Or if maybe it worked the other way, and maybe Universal paid them. I don't know, definitely some kind of money exchanging there. Again, it's just another one of the mazes, sort of like the Titans of Terror that was previously announced. Still got our core houses, though, of The Shining and, yes, Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Woohoo! So, it's going to be an epic Halloween Horror Nights this year, as always. Well, on what I would call truly horrifying news, and this being horrifying in real life, so to speak, they were all set and ready to do the world premiere of Jeepers Creepers 3, which we know we're all excited and waiting for.
Yes.
And it got canceled due to protesters. Yes.
What?
Yes, I know.
What?
Yes, so...
Oh my gosh.
For those who don't know, the director of the film ran into some legal trouble actually quite a while ago, in the 80s, but it was child molestation related. And as such, the, you know, stigma is there, it sticks, and the protesters contacted the theater and said that if you show this movie, we will protest every single day from now until the premiere, you know, 3 or 4 weeks from now, whatever it was. And obviously the theater doesn't need that kind.
Don't people understand that this is Jeepers Creepers?
Apparently not.
This is Jeepers Creepers.
You know, these people obviously don't have anything better to do. Not saying that the guy should be, you know, forgiven or anything like that. We're not going to get into that, you know, BS here. We're just going to say that, you know, protesting, you know, a movie as Jeepers Creepers 3, you gotta have something better to do with your life. You really, really do.
This makes me sad.
I know, but on the positive note, so I bring a little smile to Morsha's face, the planned rollout for nationwide release remains in place. So, September 26th, and you're gonna wanna check out, we do have a link to the release below. In select theaters around the country, you will actually still be able to see Jeepers Creepers 3.
I guess the writers for it are saying there is a sequel being written at the moment.
Okay, no surprise there.
But the children get to have input on who their adult characters should be.
Okay, wait a minute. Put on the brakes right then and there. Now, I've brought this up before. What you've just said is that they're adult characters, right?
Right.
Okay, which means that they all live.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm someone that hasn't read the book, hasn't seen the first film, or even if we operate on the idea that they aren't going to change anything, then you have ruined all willing suspension of disbelief for the first film.
Well,
if Pennywise does something to chase them or threaten them, we know they're not going to get killed.
Well,
because they're there as adults.
Don't the people that have seen the movie or read the books talk to the people who have questions about, oh, what's this It movie about?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And that is a very small fraction of the people that go to see these movies. I've said it before. You don't make $500 million or $1 billion off of fans. You just don't. Okay? And they have actually done a good job in taking this Stephen King's It movie and making it into the thing that Jane and Joe Average need to go to, not because they want to, not because they know anything about it, but just because it, for lack of a better word, is the thing to do. Okay, so those people don't know anything.
Well, I mean, then people are fans of Stephen King, probably. I mean, they probably read some of his books.
Those are fans. Yeah, but Jane and Joe Average, who haven't. And the bottom line is like, let's say that I am a fan and I have read the books. You know, going to see, and obviously I've been fans of other things and gone to see movies, certainly the comic book movies. And yes, like, you have to walk in with your willing suspension of disbelief, but it's one thing for you to just kind of walk in and have that little sliver of hope. Maybe they're going to change something. Maybe they're going to do something I don't expect.
What?
But when the writers do that, they say, no, we're not going to change anything. Just deal with it.
Well, that's good that they don't change anything.
Mm.
Right? I mean, why would you?
Well, now that's a whole separate argument. We can get into whether you should maintain source material or make changes. I, for one, am on your side. I would maintain that you should keep source material. So I don't have any problem with that, except again, name of the game is making money, and if they're trying to make money and appeal to the broadest audience, you don't ruin something, a surprise, so to speak, who lives, who dies, before the actual thing takes place. That's my point.
Maybe they'll die as adults.
That's okay. That's the sequence entirely different. Something that is near and dear to your heart and the hearts of many other fans out there.
What is it?
The Crow.
Yes.
Well, except of course, there's been words and whispers and rumors for years and years of them redoing it. And now, Sony Pictures has signed on to distribute the remake, which is basically a way of saying it's finally going to happen.
Okay.
Are you happy?
Who's playing the Crow?
Well, nothing's official yet, but the word on the street is Jason Momoa.
Okay. I can see that.
You can.
I can.
A spindly, little, thin, lanky, goth boy crow played by a steroided-out, muscle-bound guy.
Yeah, because it's remake. Reborn. It's reborn into something all jacked up.
Oh, you're taking the literal meaning.
Yeah.
Okay, now wait a minute. That's an interesting take. So, you're going to take the framework of the Crow and say that he's reborn into this different form, this form being this big jacked up muscle guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then everything else, the themes and concepts of revenge and everything else, you keep all those in.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's better than the second one. I just hated
it would be hard to be worse than the second one.
This is really bad.
Let's be fair, okay? So, I don't know. Well, Morsha may have inadvertently stepped on something here. There may be some potential there for, you know, that role to be played by an entirely different look character. There's been a lot of people that are screaming and yelling that he can't fit, but perhaps you come up with a way for them to get around that.
I mean, as long as they keep the makeup and the clothing all the same, you know.
Yeah, I think that the clothing might have to be a little different, you know. I mean, he could
Still wear black.
bust right out of that leather, man. He was like Hulk right out of it and tear it, rip it in shreds, and it wouldn't work. In potentially earth-shattering news, Stephen King has filed legal briefs to reclaim the rights to much of his work. Cujo, Dead Zone, Firestarter, Cat's Eye. No word, of course, from him as to the why. So I have to speculate. And I'm going to go down one of two rows. Road number one. Recent Stephen King adaptations, aka The Dark Tower and the TV show The Mist, have not been good. Flat out. The movie It coming out, I have my concerns about.
No, I read an article that he liked it.
Yes, of course he did. He makes money off of it. If I make money off of something,
The Dark Tower.
Exactly, and he made money off of that too. Well, he would have.
Is he taking the rights back?
Not to those.
Because they're probably freaking good.
No, they're probably locked up in an entirely separate legal agreement. But reason number two, and it's kind of somewhat what you were talking about, okay, is that it really doesn't matter whether they are good or bad. If he holds the rights, that means that when it is good, he makes more money. And if something is going to be redone, he has the ability to step in at the beginning of it or even at the end of it and say, this isn't good, it needs to be redone.
Right.
You know, those are outside of his control right now. So I think that this might be more just a power play and a money play for him to maintain proper control over those things. Good, bad, indifferent. You know, because again, I'm telling you, just because he said something's good doesn't mean it's good. It just means that he makes, okay, you're Stephen King, your new movie Dark Tower is coming out and it's terrible, right? But for everybody in the seats, you get 10 cents in your back pocket. Are you gonna say, hey everybody, this sucked, don't go see it, thus taking money out of your pocket? Or are you gonna say, oh yes, the Dark Tower is not the books, but it's still very good. Wink, wink.
Stop ruining my hope that it's gonna be bad.
Oh, you're just concerned that it isn't gonna be any good. And that is a legitimate concern.
It's legitimate.
It's very legitimate, especially if you saw that 4 minutes before Annabelle creation. Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, well, I was concerned about Clown a little bit, but that could be another topic. Topic.
Well, you should be. Clearly, our discussion of whether it hits the fan or not is for another day. Do you like that one? It hits the fan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so good. So good.